The grenade rolls toward Sergeant Jack Matthews. He has 2 seconds to decide. Grab it, run, die. 32 German soldiers have their rifles aimed at the farmhouse door. They think he's trapped. They think he's finished. They gave him 70 seconds to surrender. He has 54 seconds left. But here's what they don't know. Jack Matthews doesn't surrender, and in exactly 54 seconds, every single one of them will be dead. How does one American sergeant kill 32 trained German infantry in less than a minute? How is that even possible? Pause. To understand this impossible moment, we need to go back 72 hours to a frozen Belgian road where everything went catastrophically wrong. December 18, 1944. The Ardennes Forest. Staff Sergeant Jack Matthews is 24 years old, from a tiny farming town in Iowa called Winterset. Before the war, he worked at his father's grain mill. Nothing special, nothing remarkable, except for one thing. Jack Matthews could reload any weapon faster than any soldier in the entire 3rd Battalion, 509th Parachute Infantry Regiment. His platoon buddies called him Lightning Jack. Not because he was fast in combat, because his hands moved like lightning when he reloaded. 47 seconds to strip and reassemble an M1 Garand blindfolded. The company record. That skill? It's about to save his life and kill 32 men. Jack's squad is moving through the Ardennes during the Battle of the Bulge, Hitler's last major offensive. 200,000 German troops smashing through Allied lines. It's chaos. Jack's unit got separated from the main force 3 days ago. Now it's just him, 7 other paratroopers, and a radio that doesn't work. They're trying to reach the town of Bastogne before the Germans surround it completely. In Jack's breast pocket, there's a letter from his girl back home, Sarah. She sent him a small silver compass with an engraving. Find your way back to me. He touches it every hour. He has no idea that in 48 hours, he'll be the only one left alive. The squad moves through a tiny Belgian village called Rochefort. Population maybe 300. Or it was 300 before the Germans rolled through. Now it's ghost town, abandoned houses, bullet holes in every wall. Jack's sergeant, a tough Boston guy named Kowalski, signals them to take shelter in a large stone farmhouse on the edge of town. They need rest, they need food, they need to figure out their next move. The farmhouse looks perfect. Thick walls, good sight lines, multiple exits. Jack doesn't like it. Something feels wrong. Sarge, he says, this is too perfect. If we found it, they can find it. Kowalski waves him off. We're here for 2 hours, Matthews. Get some sleep. They've been in the farmhouse for 45 minutes when they hear it. Engines, German engines, trucks, maybe 4 or 5. Jack rushes to the second-floor window. His blood runs cold. It's not 4 trucks. It's 12. And they're not passing through. They're stopping. Right outside. German infantry pours out like ants from a kicked nest. Jack counts. 20 soldiers. 30, 40. His squad is 8 men with limited ammunition against what looks like a full German platoon. Kowalski makes the call immediately. We split up. 3 go out the back. 3 go through the cellar. 2 stay here and provide covering fire. Jack volunteers to stay. Of course he does. Another paratrooper named Jimmy Chen stays with him. They're supposed to hold for 5 minutes, give the others time to escape. Then they run. The shooting starts. Jack and Jimmy fire from the second floor. Germans scatter for cover. The plan is working. Jack sees Kowalski and 4 others sprint from the back door into the tree line. They might make it. But then Jimmy takes a round through the throat. He drops without a sound. Jack is alone now. He keeps firing. 3 Germans go down, maybe 4. But there are so many. He's got maybe 30 rounds left in his ammunition belt. That's it. That's all. He thinks about running. But the Germans have surrounded the farmhouse. Every exit is covered. Every window watched. He's trapped. For the first time in his life, Jack Matthews understands he might actually die today. Then he hears the voice, German, accented English, coming from outside. American! We know you are in there. You are alone. We are 32 soldiers. You have no chance. We give you 70 seconds to come out with hands up. 70 seconds. Then we burn the house with you inside. Jack checks his watch. 1,437 hours. 70 seconds starting now. He does the math. 8 rounds in his M1 Garand, 22 rounds in his ammunition belt, 3 M2 fragmentation grenades on his webbing, and he's facing 32 Germans. The numbers don't work. There's no scenario where he survives. He should surrender. Any rational person would surrender. But Jack Matthews isn't thinking rationally anymore. He's thinking about Kowalski running into the woods. He's thinking about Jimmy bleeding out next to him. He's thinking about Sarah's compass in his pocket, and he's thinking about one thing his drill instructor said back in Fort Benning. A cornered man with nothing to lose is the most dangerous man alive. 60 seconds left. Jack moves fast. He drags Jimmy's body to the corner. "I'm sorry, buddy." He grabs Jimmy's rifle. 16 more rounds. Now he's got options. He moves to every window on the second floor, counting positions. The Germans are getting cocky. They think he's about to surrender. They're standing in clusters, groups of 4 or 5, talking, smoking, waiting for the terrified American to walk out with his hands up. They have no idea what's about to happen. Jack picks his primary target. 6 Germans standing near the barn, 20 meters away. Then he sees it. The thing that changes everything. Sitting on a wooden cart between him and the Germans. A German ammunition crate. He can see the stenciling from here. Stick grenades. Model 24 steel hand granite. The Germans call them potato mashers. There are at least 20 in that crate, maybe more. 45 seconds. Jack's mind is racing. If he can reach that crate, if he can use their grenades against them, if his hands are fast enough, it's insane. It's suicide. But it's the only chance he has. He makes his decision. He's not surrendering. He's not burning. He's going through them. All of them. 30 seconds. Jack smashes the second floor window with his rifle butt. The Germans turn. Startled, he doesn't give them time to think. He fires. 1 shot. 2. 3. The 6 Germans near the barn don't even get their weapons up. They drop. The others scatter. Chaos. Exactly what he needs. Jack vaults through the window. He hits the ground hard. Rolls. Pain shoots through his shoulder, but he's moving. A German soldier raises his rifle. Jack is faster. 1 shot. Center mass. The German crumples. Jack is sprinting now. Full speed toward that ammunition crate. 20 seconds. Bullets snap past his head. The Germans are firing, but they're panicked. Their shots are wild. Jack slides behind the wooden cart like a baseball player stealing home. Cover. Barely. He rips open the ammunition crate. 12 stick grenades. Even better than he hoped. His hands move on pure instinct. Grab, unscrew cap, pull cord, throw, grab, unscrew, pull, throw. His hands are blurs. This is what hundreds of hours of drill training do. This is what being Lightning Jack means. The first grenade lands in a group of 4 Germans taking cover behind a stone wall. Boom. The concussion wave hits Jack like a physical punch. He doesn't stop. Second grenade. Third, fourth. He's throwing them like a machine. Every 3 seconds, another grenade flies. The Germans are screaming now. Some try to rush him. Jack drops the grenades, grabs his M1, fires, reloads in 2 seconds, fires again. 10 seconds. A German officer is yelling orders, trying to organize a counterattack. Jack sees him, 30 meters away. Difficult shot. Jack steadies his breathing, squeezes trigger. The officer drops. Without leadership, the Germans are pure panic. Some are running, some are trying to fight, some are just frozen in shock. Jack keeps moving. He grabs more grenades from the crate. His webbing is now loaded with German explosives. He's using their weapons, their ammunition, and they're dying from it. 5 seconds. Jack counts bodies. He counts movement. 21 Germans are down. 11 are still fighting. No. 10. One just took shrapnel from his own squad mate's position. Jack rolls to new cover, behind the barn now. He can hear German voices. Close. Too close. 2 soldiers round the corner. They see him. Their eyes go wide. They're trying to raise their MP-40 submachine guns. Too slow. Jack fires twice. Point blank. They fall backward. He grabs one of the MP-40s. Checks the magazine. 20 rounds. Now he has a close quarters weapon. 0 seconds. The 70 seconds are up, but Jack isn't dead. He's alive, and he's hunting. He moves along the barn wall, using shadows, using cover, every instinct from training taking over. He hears breathing, heavy, panicked. A young German soldier is hiding behind a water trough, maybe 19 years old, terrified. Jack could kill him, should kill him, but something stops him. The kid's hands are shaking so badly he can't even hold his rifle. Jack makes a choice. He gestures with the MP40. Run! Laufen! The kid doesn't need to be told twice. He drops his weapon and runs, disappears into the forest. Jack lets him go. 29 kills. Not 32. He can live with that. But the remaining Germans aren't running. They've regrouped. 7 men. They're behind the farmhouse now, setting up a machine gun and MG42. That changes everything. If they get that gun operational, Jack is finished. Sustained fire rate of 1,200 rounds per minute. He'll be cut in half. He has maybe 10 seconds before they're ready. Jack does something insane. He runs toward them, straight at the machine gun position. He's got 2 grenades left. As he runs, he pulls both pins, cooking them, letting the fuses burn. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. He releases. Both grenades fly in perfect arcs. They land directly in the machine gun nest. The Germans see them. They try to scatter. Too late. The double explosion is massive. When the smoke clears, the MG42 is destroyed. 5 bodies lie motionless. 2 Germans are wounded, crawling, trying to escape. Jack walks toward them. His M1 is empty. The MP40 is empty. He's out of grenades, but he still has his bayonet. The wounded Germans see him coming. They put their hands up, surrendering. Jack stops, looks at them. These men tried to burn him alive 90 seconds ago, but they're surrendering now. He makes his second choice. He gestures toward the woods. Go! Rouse! They crawl away, slowly, painfully. Jack doesn't watch them go. He walks back to the farmhouse. His hands are shaking now, adrenaline crash hitting hard. He sits on the stone steps, starts counting. 29 confirmed kills, 2 wounded who might not survive, 1 kid who ran. Out of 32 Germans, only 3 walked away. The entire engagement lasted 54 seconds, from the moment he jumped through that window to the moment the last grenade exploded. 54 seconds of pure violence. Jack looks at his hands. They're covered in dirt, blood, gunpowder residue. These are the hands that used to mill grain in Iowa, that used to hold Sarah's hand at the county fair. He doesn't recognize them anymore. 20 minutes later, Jack hears American voices. It's Kowalski and the others. They made it to friendly lines, brought back a patrol. They found the farmhouse, found the bodies, found Jack sitting on the steps covered in blood surrounded by dead Germans. Kowalski doesn't say anything for a long time. He just stares. Finally, Matthews, what the hell happened here? Jack looks up. His voice is flat, empty. They gave me 70 seconds to surrender. I had 54 seconds left, so I used them. The patrol searches the area. They count bodies, verify Jack's story. At first, nobody believes him. 1 man kills 32? Impossible. But the evidence is everywhere. Shell casings, grenade fragments, blood trails. The timeline matches. The tactical officer, a captain named Morrison, pulls Jack aside. Sergeant, I need you to tell me exactly what happened, step by step. Jack does. The captain listens, writes everything down. When Jack finishes, Morrison just nods. You know they're going to give you a medal for this, right? Jack touches the compass in his pocket. Sarah's compass. I don't want a medal, sir. I want to go home. But the Army has other plans. Word spreads fast. By December 20th, every unit in the Ardennes knows about Lightning Jack Matthews, the sergeant who held off a German platoon alone. The story gets bigger with each telling. Some versions say he killed 40 Germans. Some say 50. Jack doesn't correct them. He doesn't talk about it at all. But the official after-action report is clear. 29 confirmed enemy killed in action. 54 seconds of engagement, 1 American soldier, 0 American casualties. It's one of the most lopsided small unit actions in the entire European theater. 3 weeks later, January 9th, 1945. Jack is pulled from his unit, sent to divisional headquarters. He thinks he's in trouble. Instead, he's standing in front of Major General Matthew Ridgway, the entire 18th Airborne Corps commander. Ridgway pins the Distinguished Service Cross to Jack's uniform, second highest military decoration. The citation reads, "For extraordinary heroism in action against enemy forces." Jack stands at attention. Feels nothing. The medal is heavy, heavier than it should be. That night, alone in his tent, Jack takes out the medal, looks at it, thinks about Jimmy Chen bleeding out on the farmhouse floor, thinks about the young German kid he let run, thinks about the 2 wounded soldiers crawling into the woods. He puts the medal in his footlocker, doesn't look at it again for 30 years. The Battle of the Bulge ends January 25th, 1945. Allied victory. Jack survives the rest of the war, returns home to Iowa in October 1945, marries Sarah 3 months later. Never talks about Rochefort, never talks about the 54 seconds. His kids grow up knowing Dad was in the war. That's all, just in the war. It's not until 1974 that Jack's son finds the medal in a box in the attic. "Dad, what's this?" Jack is 64 years old now. Gray hair, worn hands. He looks at the Distinguished Service Cross for the first time in decades. He tells his son the story, all of it. The farmhouse, the 70 seconds, the 32 Germans. When he finishes, his son asks, "How did you do it? How did you survive?" Jack touches the silver compass on his desk. Sarah's compass, still there after all these years. "I had something to come home to. That's how." Jack Matthews died in 1998, age 78, buried in Winterset, Iowa. Small ceremony, family only. The local newspaper ran a 3-paragraph obituary, mentioned he was a World War II veteran, didn't mention the Distinguished Service Cross, didn't mention Rochefort, didn't mention the 54 seconds, because that's what Jack wanted. No glory, no fame, just peace. But military historians know the story. The official record is clear. December 18th, 1944. Staff Sergeant Jack Matthews, 1 man, 32 enemies, 54 seconds. It remains one of the most extraordinary small unit actions in American military history. Here's what the German survivors reported after the war, according to declassified interrogation files. The young soldier Jack let run. His name was Klaus Hoffmann, 18 years old, from Munich. He survived the war, returned home, became a schoolteacher. In 1983, he gave an interview to a German history magazine. He said, "I was going to die that day. I knew it. But the American soldier, he looked at me, and he let me live. I don't know why. I think about him every day. I hope he survived the war. I hope he found happiness. He gave me a life I should not have had." Klaus never learned Jack's name, never knew the man who spared him was called Lightning Jack. But somewhere in Munich, an 83-year-old man is alive today because a young sergeant from Iowa made a choice in the middle of chaos. The farmhouse in Rochefort still stands, renovated now, a private residence. The owners know the history. Bullets' holes are still visible in some of the stone walls if you know where to look. There's no plaque, no memorial, just a house where something impossible happened, where 1 man was given 70 seconds to die, and instead, he used 54 seconds to win. But here's the detail that makes this story even more unbelievable. Jack's lightning-fast reload skills? The reason he could throw grenades so quickly? It saved more than just his life. 3 months after Rochefort, March 1945, Jack's unit assaulted a German bunker complex near the Rhine. They were pinned down, taking casualties, out of grenades. Jack crawled through machine gun fire to a destroyed German position, found their ammunition, reloaded his entire squad's weapons under fire in less than 2 minutes. They took the bunker. 40 Americans survived, because of Jack's hands. Those hands that moved like lightning. Those same hands that killed 32 men in 54 seconds in Belgium. They saved 40 lives in Germany. What do you do with that? How do you measure that? Jack never talked about it. But the 40 men who survived, they never forgot. And that's why this story matters. It's not about the killing. It's not about the medal. It's about what one person can do when everything is impossible. When the odds are 32-1. When you have 70 seconds to surrender or die, and you choose neither. You choose to fight. You choose to survive. You choose to go home to the girl with the silver compass. Jack Matthews proved something that day in Rochefort. Sometimes the numbers don't matter. Sometimes training beats odds. Sometimes one human being pushed to the absolute edge can do the impossible. 32 enemies, 54 seconds, one survivor. Pause. But Jack Matthews wasn't the only American soldier to face impossible odds in World War II. There's another story, another sergeant, another moment where one man stood against an entire enemy force. This one happened in the Pacific, on an island whose name became legend. And what this Marine did? It makes Rochefort look like a training exercise. That story? That's next time.